Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. So in this video we are going to be reviewing Bad Times at the El Royale, which is a noir thriller based film set in the 70s and has 7 main characters, each of whom have a dark and mysterious secret behind them, and all of them are happening to meet up at this hotel in the Nevada and Californian border, which is this eerie hotel called the El Royale. Now, I thought this film, based on that premise, was going to be a bit like Cluedo, where all of these characters are together and there's a bit of a mystery and you kind of have to work out who is the murderer and guess throughout the film. Now, whilst this movie does have murder in there, it doesn't have a mystery. Well, it does have mystery in there, but it doesn't have a mystery in the sense that I could have wanted to kind of follow with a thriller-based film. It's kind of got all these different secrets and kind of converging all of their different storylines into one, with a unique storyline setting, and you know, it does kind of work, but it just wasn't as good as I would have wanted it to be, and I'm going to explain why in this movie review. Now, I won't reveal too much about the storyline and the plot as we'll quickly enter spoiler territory, but what I will say is that each kind of character has their own reason for kind of coming to the El Royale Hotel. And the way in which this is communicated to the audience is through flashbacks for each character. The device is very similar to the way that storylines were told from a character's perspective on Lost. So they kind of have their present day storyline, and then you kind of flash back and find out more about this particular character's past as well. And then you kind of have that for each of the different characters and kind of from their perspective in present day as well as in the past as well. So it's a very clever little device, a little bit overused, but you know, it still is a nice way of telling storylines. We then also have the mystery of the El Royale Hotel, and all I'll say with this is that there are some secret passageways in this hotel, which is kind of what the hotel's kind of storyline slash narrative is in this film. And then of course it all kind of crescendos and leads towards this really intense and epic final act. So as far as the characters go, I'll talk about 5 of them, as if I talk about the other 2 will be in spoiler territory. So I'll talk about 5 of the main characters in this film. So first of all, we have Jeff Bridges, who plays Father Flynn, a priest and one of the main central characters in the film. We then have Cynthia Erivo, who plays Darlene Sweet, a struggling singer and the second kind of main character in the film. We then have Dakota Johnson, who plays Emily, a rebellious teen. We then have John Hamm, who plays a vacuum salesman. And then we have Lewis Pullman, who plays Miles Miller, the hotel clerk and sole employee in the film. Now, each of these characters has got their own storyline, and they all kind of work really well in terms of having their own dark, mysterious storyline. But actually, they all really work really well as a unit together as well in this film. So the film is quite cool in the sense that it's got all of these single, separate storylines and the characters that are kind of leading these storylines, but as a group, they also work really, really well together. In terms of the visuals of this movie, they're nothing groundbreaking, so don't expect, you know, like a cinematic masterpiece. That said though, they do a great job in terms of creating the world that they want you to feel like you're a part of. So it does feel like it's a very 70s type film. It does feel like it's got a very noir thriller setting. The musical score in this film is absolutely brilliant. It really does add intensity and kind of craziness to certain situations. So, you know, from that point of view, all the visuals and the aesthetics of the film look really, really good. I even understand that some of the actors even took a pay cut because they believed in this film so much and they kind of wanted it to be released. So, you know, from a budget point of view, I don't think it's anything incredibly massive or groundbreaking from that point of view. But, you know, like I said before, it definitely has a sense of escapism, and you do kind of feel like you've been teleported into the world of the El Royale. In terms of comparisons, overall El Royale is a pretty unique film, although it does have aspects of other films in there. So the flashback device, like I said, is very reminiscent and very similar to Lost, and just the overall aesthetic and style of storytelling is very Tarantino-esque. Obviously it's not a Tarantino film, but it does definitely kind of have that vibe and feel to it. If you've watched Once Upon a Time recently, then it's very similar to that film. Obviously, I didn't rate that film that highly. I will link my review in the description box below, so check that out if you want to see what I thought of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But if you have seen that film, then you'll kind of see what I mean, in the sense that it is a very kind of Tarantino-esque type film. So yeah, but that said, you know, like I said before, it is pretty unique in terms of an overall package of a movie. Overall, I did enjoy El Royale, the film, not as much as I would have wanted to, but you know, overall it did kind of sustain my attention throughout, and it does have kind of really interesting storyline dynamics and aspects and kind of character interactions as well. Obviously the cast of this film is absolutely fantastic, and they all kind of bring their A game, and kind of it is a enjoyable movie to watch from, you know, a star-studded point of view, and kind of this fact that it's kind of like a new, unique kind of storyline as well. Like I said, not as good as I would have wanted it to be, but still decent and worth watching, and because of those reasons, I am going to give it a solid 5 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.